This video isn't about a Les Paul, it's about my Les Paul, and this guitar is a dream come true. This guitar started with a big dream for a Goldtop Les Paul, and that has started a long time ago because these instruments are iconic, but I always like an instrument to be versatile as well and usable. And for many years I've been put off by Les Pauls because of their reputation for being quite muddy. And over the years I've learned that the P90 option would be fantastic for my needs. So as a kid listening to my influences, I saw that this would be a really good way to go, and I just coveted one of these guitars for many years. It's almost one of the holy grail guitars that people have owned. People like Frank Zappa, Dwayne Allman. Quite recently, one of my favourite guitar players is Joey Landreth. And when I went to see him at the Flower Pot in Derby in 2019, I was blown away by his playing. And I actually, from that day, wanted a Goldtop like his because it was his tone, it looked really cool, and it just sounded amazing. Me and my wife, and actually my children now, have played jokes around it because I do get quite obsessed with instruments. And with my youngest born, there was a moment where we went to see Santa Claus at the Grotto last December, and she was just pre-talking at that stage, and I turned around to Santa and said, "What was that you said?" Putting my ear to my daughter's mouth and saying, "You want a Les Paul Goldtop? Is that what you want?" And Santa was like, "Yeah, nice try." But again, this was a guitar dream. And since then as well, we've put in our shopping list between me and my wife, we'll put Les Paul Goldtop. We'll just slip it in there in case they sell one at the shop that we were trying to go to. So the hunt began. And we had to search wide and high and low. And there are different flavours of the Goldtop. And the different flavours of Les Paul that you can go for. There were classic models, standard models, traditional models, very expensive custom shop models, R6s. And there were a few moments over the last few months that have kind of led me to this point. One was meeting an old student of mine who he was always going to go far with his approach to things. He has since started quite a successful guitar dealership, and he's really good at sourcing guitars. He saw that I was after a Goldtop and sent me an image of one for sale. It was a modern sort of 2023 model. Sent me an image, and I went to raise the money for that guitar. So I sold a Marshall amp, it was beautiful, and I went there to buy this guitar. I had the money for it. And then I tried all the Les Pauls, and as we know, Les Pauls are very inconsistent in the way they are. It doesn't mean they're terrible, it just means that they're not all the same. And I found one that suited me better. So I walked away with a classic. Some months later, I'd been to the guitar show in Birmingham, and I got to play on an original Goldtop. I think it was a 54 with a wrap tail. Really beautiful guitar. I can't believe this guy let me play it. Very original spec and just a wonderful instrument, and it just sang, and I was just like, it reaffirmed that I wanted a P90 Goldtop even more. as I was filming the shootout video, a Les Paul shootout, where we looked at all the Les Pauls from the last up to 30 years, I found a different Les Paul that really called me. And that guitar is just absolutely stunning. That is my 2007 Burst. We've got here, it's a Les Paul standard. But every inch of this guitar has vibe. It's got checking going on. It's got a beautiful plus top. It's got the vintage style tuners that you get on the custom shop models now. It's got beautiful lacquer. The lacquer's aging really nicely. The guitar weighs less than £8. It's something like £7.5. You play a note on it, and acoustically this is actually my loudest guitar, and it's almost as loud as my PRS hollow body, which is crazy. This is literally my favourite guitar. So I was really happy with my Les Paul, and for many months I was gigging it as my primary instrument, and an opportunity, well, I had an idea to try trading guitars, because quite a few guitars, I had quite a lot in the house, and it was an embarrassing amount, which, you know, I shouldn't be getting embarrassed by how many guitars I got, but I had quite a lot, and I decided to thin out some of my guitars. So I had a £100 Squier Strat that I'd bought. I'd put a Fender logo on because people were not taking me seriously at gigs with this Squier guitar, even though I think Squiers are brilliant and you can gig with them. They're a working guitar. I'd put P90s on it, and I sold it as a Squier Strat with a Fender logo and P90s. I put it up for sale. Somebody wanted to trade it, so I traded it. And they offered me a bass. It was a Thunderbird Epiphone bass, worth a bit more than I paid for the Squier. And I felt like I was going up in the world with the instrument. It was a great instrument, and the guy who had it had really set it up well. He knew his stuff. He was a great player as well. So we went and did this exchange, and I was really impressed with the instrument. So I had it for about 2 months. I put it back up for trades to see what people would trade, and somebody traded me for a Fender Stratocaster. It was a 1994 Mexican model. Again, I've gone up a few more rungs now on the ladder of guitars. So I've started with a Squier, ended up with a Fender. It was sunburst. It had 2 dings on it, and it was in great condition. Played lovely, sounded really great. I think the pickups were upgraded on that, if I'm being honest. They weren't like normal 90s Fender Stratocaster pickups. They had really nice, it just sounded great. It was a groovy guitar. So I got that guitar on the Friday night, and then I went to help my friend out at the guitar show at Coventry on the Sunday. I took it along in a little bag and stuck a sign up, and I managed to sell that guitar for, you know, quite a lot more than I got for my Squier. And I was in a position where I could do some trades for some other stuff, and I could go higher up. And that day is a bit of a blur now, because I'd tried loads of guitars out. I'd played loads of guitars. I was helping sell guitars. I was selling amps. We had quite a good day. The morning started. It started with me getting up at 6 in the morning, loading 90 guitars into my van, driving there, having a Costa on the way, that kind of thing, and having a hard day really of kind of working with it, which was great fun because I just love guitars. But then Harry was handing me guitars. So he handed me this 63 ES 135, I think it was, with a cutaway, really nice guitar. And he'd basically gone to the back of someone's car and done a deal and got some instruments. And then he handed me a Goldtop. I saw a Goldtop Epiphone. I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. I really like that guitar. At that point as well, by the way, I tried another Les Paul like this Goldtop, but it was a sunburst one. But the neck was just a bit different. I was kind of all set to take that home with me and do a deal. And then he said, I've got something for you. Handed me this. So this is the guitar, and I was just The second I played it, and I wasn't looking at the colour of it, but though I wanted a gold top, but the sustain that. The sustain on this guitar is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And the guitar that I've got here is a Les Paul. The guitar I've got here is a 2010 Les Paul Studio Tribute model with a 50s shaped neck. Now, this 50s shaped neck, I've played loads of Les Pauls this last year. It's gonna be like 60 different Les Pauls by the time the year's out. From vintage Les Pauls to modern Les Pauls and studios and right the way up. Even Murphy Labs. And I've played quite a few tribute models. A few years ago I had a student with one, and it was a really, really great guitar. They've all been, in my experience, they've all been really great guitars. I've got a friend on the gigging circuit who's a great musician, Steve Sheldon his name is. He has something like this as well, and I've always kind of coveted that guitar, but I know he uses that. He's got a Tom Anderson and he uses his Goldtop kind of as a backup. And again, he got that for a really good price. This guitar is very special. It weighs just over £7.5. So it's a similar weight to the Burst that I've got down there. It's a little bit thinner here. This is the only thing I've noticed really that I'm not, over the moon about. But it's thinner by a couple of millimeters. I'm not that bothered, to be honest. The amount of hours I've put into this guitar in the since I've had it has been insane. The neck is beautiful. Now it is a satin finish. It's a nitro satin finish. The neck, because it's 14 years old, the neck's gone glossy, but in a nice way, not a sticky way. But the neck's took a shine because it's been used. It's starting to wear a little bit, and where it's wearing, it's going green a little bit, like the vintage Les Pauls that I've seen do. So it has that character and that vibe, and it's just really, really excellent. So over time, over the last few weeks, I've been bonding with this guitar. It has things like a clear plate on the back, which is very Gibson 2010s. The neck is absolutely perfect. The action is absolutely perfect. It has chambering, serious chambering, like you get on the same guitar that I've got, like on my Burst guitar. And chambering is actually a plus for me because I take these out. I don't buy these guitars to put in a case and keep. They're all my guitars all my guitars are out basically. They're out on the wall or they're on a stand. I don't leave them in cases because they don't get played. I know some people might think that that's not great because you're not looking after it, but playing it's there to be played. It's really important that that's how its life is for me. It's got the Nashville bridge. Mine came with the Nashville bridge, and I did a retrofit of an ABR one from Faber. This has a Nashville bridge. It's got thumb cutters. It's got those shiny top reflector knobs. It's got quite a few pieces of mahogany here on the body. So it's 1, 2, 3. That's got to be a fourth. 4, 5, I think. 4 or 5 pieces of mahogany on the body. It doesn't bother me. Just a reminder to please subscribe to the channel. The viewing figures are showing that around about 1 to 5% of people that ever watch any of the videos subscribe, and I'm on the journey to monetization. I'm hoping to get to a point where we've got enough subscribers by Christmas. Obviously, you know about subscriptions, YouTube channels. It doesn't cost you a thing to subscribe. It's just a case of signing in and pressing the subscribe button. I don't alert every new video to every person, to my subscribers, so that they don't get bombarded with notifications from me. It's one of those things that will be really beneficial for the channel and hopefully to yourselves if you like the content. Thank you. My other Les Paul down here, I actually think this guitar is one piece. It's one piece, this one. But they weigh very similar. So that's a 1-piece body. That's a 5-piece. It's the look of the draw with Gibson. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5. I've made a guitar, and when I did that, joining the body pieces of mahogany was a fun experience. I don't think it makes a difference if the guitar sings, but this is probably my most sustainy, singy guitar that I've got. The machine heads have the bigger style that you get on all the new standards and studios, and as we have seen for the last few years. So for me, I wouldn't mind doing something with that to make them more retro and thinner like I've got on the other guitar. That would be nice. I've noticed that the scratch plate here sits a little bit higher up on this guitar. They're both top wrapped. I'm a top wrapper. Some people aren't, some people are. Some people like to argue on the internet whether top wrapping's good or not. I really don't care. I'm not going to join in with that. For me, I've tried it not top wrap, I've tried it top wrap. It makes it a little bit better. For me, it's about 5% difference. So I like it. So yeah, it's really cool. They both have strap locks ready to go. There's no damage on this guitar really. There's a few little marks there on the top. I'm not bothered about that sort of thing. The only thing that annoys me with guitars, if there's big, dings in the neck, and I'm constantly feeling it as I'm playing, that would probably annoy me with the guitar I've just bought. My all-time sort of long stay guitar, my Fender Stratocaster, that's got a big ding in the neck. I remember doing it, and I was 18. I was playing the Market Bosworth Festival, and I remember it falling off a really crap music guitar stand. And that day I learnt to use decent guitar stands, and it always reminds me about guitar stands when I do that, when I see it and play it. So the legacy of this guitar kind of continues really, because I'm absolutely loving it. I'm getting it up early. These guitars it's not that they're expensive either. So I've seen them go for between, in the UK in 2024 October, there's one for sale for £1,550 in a shop. There's one for sale for there was one for sale about a month ago for £775. I think the equivalent was paid of about £600 for this model, in the trade. Obviously I spent £100 to start with, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's a really, really lovely instrument, and I'm very happy with the instrument. The search is now over for this guitar. I've got a really nice sort of Les Paul standard. I don't need this to be a Les Paul standard. I've got a nice case that I can take it around in as well. Okay, that wasn't part of the deal originally. It came with the other case, so I've done some things to get one of those. You know, bought another case for it, because I really, honestly, I take it with me everywhere. It's one of those guitars that just makes me feel happy whenever I play it, and it vibrates. It's really loud acoustically. But yeah, Goldtops, they're really cool. If you like Les Pauls and you want, you know, pretty much all the vibe, you can't go wrong with a guitar like this. You know, I've said it before about studios. Studios are really good guitars. They're like a sleeper guitar. If you're working with an instrument and you're taking it out all the time, do you really want it to be an R6 worth, I don't know, you know, 4,000, like worth the same as a Yamaha R6, right? If you're into your motorbikes, you know, or do you want something that kind of mid-price by today's standards, but actually feels really special? And this guitar delivers that to me. It's got the rawness of a Gibson. You know, when you compare that to a PRS, which is again fantastic guitars, I think this has more vibe. I've not played a bad Les Paul tribute, and I wonder if that's because of the price point that they sit at, because you know, somebody might say I have a bad Les Paul standard because they cost like £2,500 now new, you know, and on the used market they're not far behind because they're good investments, aren't they? But this is just everything I wanted it to be, really. So to that end, really, you know, guitar dreams come true. Look for them. Really spend your time enjoying that pursuit of the instrument. But one thing is for certain, it's a great guitar and I'm going to keep it. Be excellent to each other.